بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مساكم الله بالخير جميعا. معكم عبد الله القحطاني من حماية اوبريشن، وإن شاء الله اليوم عندنا لقاء للمتخصصين، ونشكر مع الدكتور فراس بن عبد العزيز الجمعة، نشكر على تلبية الدعوة. وراح يكون إن شاء الله لقاء بخصوص موضوع الواتساب. كثر الحديث حول الواتساب والتحديثات الجديدة اللي حصلت، فإن شاء الله دكتور فراس بيعطينا نبذة عنها. طبعا دكتور فراس هو أستاذ أمن الشبكات ومساعد بكلية علوم الحاسب والمعلومات بجامعة الإمام محمد بن سعود الإسلامية في الرياض. وراح يكون إن شاء الله المحاور اللي راح نتكلم فيها عن طبعا 3 محاور أساسية، بتكون لماذا كثر الحديث مؤخرا عن الأمان في برنامج الواتساب، وأيضا راح نتكلم عن دكتور فراس بيتكلم عن الموضوع كيف يعمل التشفير في برنامج واتساب، أيضا اللي هو البدائل أو هل هناك قلق بخصوص الواتساب. حياك الله دكتور فراس، وشاكرين لك تواجدك معنا هنا في هذا اللقاء، وتفضل.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين نبينا محمد عليه وعلى آله أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم. أشكر حماية اوبريشن على الدعوة وعلى الموضوع الهام، يعني مش أول لقاء ولا آخر لقاء ما شاء الله فيه، كان مؤخرا حق سولار وينز كان مرة مفيد، واليوم نبي نبدأ بواتساب واتساب. طيب before I start، قبل ما نبدأ متعود معليش. طيب قبل ما نبدأ بالموضوع بعرض عليكم سلايد هذه، والظاهر هل جدتهم طالعين من الصلاة. So for 2 minutes ولا 1.5 minutes look at these companies. شوفوا الشركات الموجودة قدامكم، وأبغى وش وجه الشبه بينها، أوكي؟ وش علاقتها بموضوعنا اليوم. It's something interesting وراح نشوفها بعدين إن شاء الله. So أبغاكم تشوفون الشركات هذه and think to yourself what do these companies have in common. أوكي؟ وراح نرجع لها بعد شوي.
تسمح لي دكتور فراس، بس على بال ما يفكروا في الموضوع، في حالة الاستفسارات أو أي شيء ممكن ترسلون على الشات الموجود هنا، بيكون المنظمين أو الهوسترز موجودين، فالأسئلة والاستفسارات ترسل على الشات، وراح ناخذها إن شاء الله في نهاية اللقاء. شكرا.
طيب في guesses تجيك أنت الرسائل دكتور عبد الله؟
إيه تجي تتصل.
إيه. If anyone has a guess, feel free to write it دكتور عبد الله. طيب وصلني مسج واحد. Let's see if anyone else has a guess.
أتوقع تبين عندك تشوفها صح لجميع الشركات الربحية.
إيه شوف، وصلتني رسالة سمية تقول تحتاج حماية فائقة. أوكي الحين راح نبدأ إن شاء الله. بسم الله. طيب التيبل اوف كونتنتس، المواضيع اللي راح نتكلم عنها اليوم باذن الله. اول شيء واي ذا هايب، ليش كثر الكلام مؤخرا عن الواتساب والسكيورتي. ثاني شيء راح ناخذ هيستوري بسيط عن برنامج الواتساب قبل ما ندخل بالاشياء المتخصصه مره. بعد كذا راح نتكلم عن السيجنال بروتوكول. طبعا ما راح نتكلم عن السيجنال اب لحالها، لا it's a protocol that everyone uses. okay so اذا تعرفون برنامج جوجل الو يستخدمه، واتساب يستخدم السيجنال بروتوكول، برنامج سيجنال يستخدمه، راح نشوف عده سكايب يستخدمه كمان. بعد كذا راح نتكلم عن الانت اند انكريبشن، a look into the protocol والcrypto systems المستخدمه and how they're used. وبعد كذا راح نتكلم عن المشاكل وحلول لها، يعني كيف نرسل الميديا فايلز، المسج فوروردينج، الفايت اجينست ميس انفورميشن، الاشاعات والاشياء هذه. واخر شيء نتكلم يعني بعد كل الكلام هذا is it secure ولا not secure كملخص. اوكي طيب التارجت اودينس، my assumptions اولا انه في ناس مختصين وفي ناس غير مختصين اللي بيحضرون اللقاء. حبيت يكون مثلا بدايته للغير المختص، وبعدين لما ندخل في اشياء مختصه راح تفيد ان شاء الله الاغلبيه. الشيء الثاني we believe everything WhatsApp is claiming is under the hood. So الاشياء اللي في الوايت بيبر حقت واتساب، الاشياء اللي هم يقولون مثلا this is how WhatsApp works, we believe them. وفي الاخير راح نصل conclusion as to their claims. Okay. الشيء الثالث for parts that are vague I'll be relying on various research papers و other documents. Okay. يعني في نفس الدوكيومنتس حقت واتساب في بعض الاشياء مي واضحه او مثلا ما تكلموا عنها بتفاصيل اكثر. I will fill in the blanks either من السيجنال بروتوكول نفسه ولا other papers that have discussed these issues. Okay. طيب, so first of all, why the hype? On the 4th of January, WhatsApp announced that it was updating some of its privacy policies to share a portion of its data with their parent firm Facebook. قالوا في جانوري 4 قبل تقريبا يعني بداية الشهر هذا انهم حدثوا البرايفسي policy وقالوا we will share some of our data, all of our data with Facebook. Okay. This is because WhatsApp is preparing to shift towards allowing more e-commerce to happen inside the application. طيب. So what is really changing? يهمك التغييرات هذه ولا ما تهمك? If you're using WhatsApp to message family and friends, not much is changing, almost nothing. Okay. إذا أنت تستخدم الواتساب عشان تتكلم مع الأهل، الأصدقاء، أشياء زي كذا، ما في أي تغيير بالنسبة لك. يعني الداتا حقتك ما راح تتغير، الخصوصية حقتها nothing has changed. Okay. Private messages and calls between users are end-to-end encrypted. يعني مكالماتك أو المسجز اللي ترسلها المعارف كلها تبقى محمية using end-to-end encryption. راح نشوفها إن شاء الله. And they cannot be seen by WhatsApp or Facebook. يعني التواصل اللي راح يكون بينك وبين أي أحد تعرفه ما تقدر تشوف لا واتساب ولا فيسبوك or anyone else. Okay. So the changes only apply to the way users can message businesses using the WhatsApp platform. طيب زي ما أنتم عارفين فيه another application تابع الواتساب which is called WhatsApp Business. WhatsApp Business has their own business model that allows them to communicate with their clients and في الخصوصية اللي حدثوها لعلاقة بالbusinesses. So they're changing how they deal with businesses to make more money. They're moving towards e-commerce أكثر وأكثر. So companies can manage their WhatsApp chats with their customers, answer questions, send information such as receipts from Facebook. هذه موجودة عندنا بس بعض الدول الثانية. البزنس اكاونت حق فيسبوك يقدر يرسل فواتير ويستلم اموال مبالغ من الكلاينتس directly through Facebook. Okay. وهذه الخطوة جاية مستقبلا. They can also use any of that information and communications between themselves and customers for marketing purposes. في إذا نشرت شيء عن طريق الواتساب they will use this data to show you ads في أماكن ثانية. Okay. طيب هل في جديد هنا? Of course not. Everyone does this. Okay. So if you search for a hotel على booking and you go to Instagram فجأة تلقى الدعايات حقت booking عندك في Instagram. Okay. Facebook, does it own booking? It does not, but they share information. Okay. So this happens. It's very common. It happens everywhere. Additionally, shopping activity on WhatsApp can be used to personalize the ads shown on their personal Facebook and Instagram pages. Okay. طيب وش سبب الهايب؟ يعني أحد أكبر الأسباب تغريدة من إيلون ماسك يقول use signal. This was January 7th بعد ما طلعت البرايفسي policy الجديدة هذه. And when the richest man in the world says something, people listen. Okay. وش درانا إن هذه لها أثر كبير غير إن مثلا 370,000 لايك. كان في شركة اسمها Signal. Okay. اسمها Signal Advance Incorporated. كان سعر التداول في جانوري 5 60 cents. كان سعر السهم 60 سنت فقط. بعد ما كتب إيلون ماسك use signal بعض الناس فهموا إنه يقصد this company وتوقع إنه راح يكون عليها إقبال كثير فرفعوا قيمة السهم لما وصل $38.70 وبعد كذا طاحت أسهم الشركة مرة ثانية واكتشفوا إنه ما كان يتكلم عن الشركة هذه. Okay. طيب, let's look into a short history on WhatsApp. In 2009, Jan Koum and Brian Acton, they founded WhatsApp in 2009. Both used to work at Yahoo. Koum gave the name of the application, WhatsApp, to sound familiar to What's Up. Hence the name of today's lecture. وهذول هم على اليمين. Just a second. طيب, was it a chatting application? Was it a messaging application when they started? No, it was not. So what happened was, I think it was Koum, شرى ايفون واكتشف ان في push notifications في الايفون وعجبته فكره البوش notifications. فقال راح استخدمها انه كل شخص يكون له ستاتس, واول ما تغير الستاتس حقك it will inform everyone that you know عن طريق الابلكيشن هذه. So Acton convinced 5 friends in Yahoo to invest about $250,000 in seed funding, and he became the co-founder. Okay, so جمعوا من زملائهم $250,000 وبدأوا بالبروجكت. طيب, let's skip all the way 2014. طبعا في بينهم بدأوا بالمسجing, بعدين دخلوا end-to-end encryption and so forth. So Facebook announced that it acquired WhatsApp for $19 billion. هذا February 2014. بعد ما اعلنوا, طبعا اظنها كانت 16 مليار اسهم و4 مليار كاش. قيمه الاسهم اللي وعدوا فيها شركه واتساب عبال ما انتهت المعامله كلها وبعد ما طلع الخبر, زادت قيمه الاسهم, وبعد ما انتهى الفاينلايزيشن حقه الديل تبين انهم اخذوا $21.8 billion كان قيمه الصفقه. In August 2014, over 600 million active users were reported on WhatsApp, and it became famous around the globe as the mostly used messaging app. In November 2014, طبعا متى شرتها فيسبوك؟ February 2014. في نوفمبر هذيك السنة كونت partnership مع شركة اسمها Open Whisper Systems. Open Whisper Systems هم اللي صلحوا السيجنال. They were part of البروجكت اللي طلعت السيجنال application. Okay, and they did this to provide end-to-end encryption. فاتفقوا معهم قالوا okay, we want you to implement our end-to-end encryption. In September of 2017, WhatsApp for Business application was launched, which let businesses create their own business profile on WhatsApp. In 2012, Facebook paid. طيب, هنا سؤال يعني اللي ودي أصله. How much is WhatsApp worth? Okay, يعني شرتها هي في 2014 ب19 مليار, right? زي ما قلنا هنا 21.8. So how much would it be worth today? Okay, so in 2012, Facebook paid $1 billion for Instagram, which had 30 million users with $0 in revenue. That comes to $35 per user. So Facebook يوم شرت انستغرام دفعوا $35 لكل مستخدم. So Facebook in 2014 agreed to pay $19 billion for WhatsApp, which had 400 million users at the time. Okay, and $15.9 million in revenue. So كان ميزة WhatsApp إنه it had more users, and at the same time it proved that it can make money. Okay, and this led Facebook to purchase it at $47 per user, ولا 55 at the end of the deal. Okay, but when they agreed to make the deal, it was $47 per user, which is what Facebook actually paid for WhatsApp. Okay, طيب. So getting $47 per user. Do you know how many users use Facebook, WhatsApp today? Last year, in February 2020, they announced they had reached 2 billion users. Okay, that was February 2020. So today it's much, much more. Okay, so also their revenue in 2020, even though everything is still free, ما في إلا البزنس accounts المحدودة حول العالم, they still made $5 billion. That was last year, okay? So, إذا أخذنا 2 billion, what does that make? So without taking inflation into account, ما أخذنا حساب التضخم, that makes WhatsApp today worth at least $94 billion, okay? It could be worth much, much more today. يعني هذا على حساب العام الماضي. So when Facebook purchases a product, it cares about user growth وبعدين monetization بعدين. So it tries to get you addicted to the product, and it thinks about how to monetize it later, okay? So also, يعني, if you think about it, if Facebook has a product that is worth $94 billion, okay, why is everyone surprised that they're trying to make money from it? ولا sell the data? It's not a charity, صح? So they're going to try to make money in any way that they can. So it's not a surprise that they're sharing their data with Facebook. I think everyone assumed that was happening anyways. طيب نرجع للصورة هذه. Do you know what they have in common? Not a single one of these companies is worth more than WhatsApp today. Not a single one. So Morgan Stanley is not worth more. Target's not worth more. STC is not worth more. Sabic Kubra is not worth more. Sabic is worth, I think I checked last week, it was 307 مليار ريال سعودي القيمة السوقية. So to think of it, even Starbucks is not worth WhatsApp, which is crazy to think about. I'm not saying this is how much it's worth. This is just a calculation based on how they evaluated the first purchase, okay? Okay, now let's get to the signal protocol. Coffee break. So what is a signal protocol? It is a cryptographic protocol that can be used to provide end-to-end encryption for voice calls, video calls, and instant messaging, okay? It was developed by Open Whisper in 2013. وهم اللي اتفقوا معهم WhatsApp to create the end-to-end encryption موجود في WhatsApp. It was first introduced in the open source text secure app, which later became Signal. So Open Whisper, and they developed the Signal protocol, they added it to an application كان اسمها text secure, وبعدين مع تطور الوقت غيروا اسمها Signal وهي المعروفة اليوم. So several closed source applications claim to have implemented the protocol, such as WhatsApp. طبعا WhatsApp is closed source. We cannot see all of their source code, what they do on the back end, okay? The protocol combines the following: double ratchet algorithm, pre-keys, and a triple elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman handshake, which we will see in just parts of it. We'll see. وإذا كفى الوقت حطيت appendix if you guys are interested. The protocol uses curve 25519, AES 256, و HMAC SHA 256 as primitives. So يستخدم all of these crypto systems, curve 25519 عشان Diffie-Hellman elliptic curve, و AES to encrypt the keys encrypt the messages back and forth, and HMAC is for integrity signature, okay? End-to-end encryption ensures only that you and the person you're communicating with can read or listen to what is sent, and nobody in between, not even WhatsApp. إذا طبقنا end-to-end encryption, what WhatsApp is trying to say is I gave you the means by which you guys can communicate in a way where I cannot even listen or see what is being sent, okay? So all of this happens automatically. You don't see this, you have nothing to do with it, no need to turn anything on. It's there by default for WhatsApp, okay? So في البداية it was optional, and then they forced it by forcing everyone to update the application. Okay, so how does end-to-end encryption work? You have a key, Alice has a key, Bob has a key. They communicate, they encrypt the messages back and forth, and no one can see them, not even WhatsApp. Okay? طيب. هنا يجي السؤال. If Alice and Bob want to agree on a key, how can they agree on a key if WhatsApp listens to everything that they do? Okay? But I could see the chat, so if anyone has a question while I'm speaking, ترى عادي. We'll keep it towards the end, but if it's something واضحة في نفس السلايد اللي أنا فيها, it's absolutely fine. طيب, if Alice and Bob want to agree on a key, however, they cannot communicate with each other without WhatsApp listening, okay? So how can we do this? This is where Diffie-Hellman comes in, okay? What does Diffie-Hellman protocol, what is it? So Diffie-Hellman are two guys that came up with this protocol. It is the basis for most key agreement protocols that we use today. So let's say Alice and Bob want to agree on a key, where Eve is listening on everything they send to each other, okay? So حطيت بين قوسين WhatsApp. So if we could prove that no one in between can figure out the key that they used, so نقدر نقول not even WhatsApp can see what we're doing, صح? Okay. So to simplify the protocol, let's use colors as an example, okay? هذا المثال معروف. So Alice and Bob يتفقون على لون, let's say yellow. This is public, okay? ما عندنا مشكلة إن Eve تعرف إن the public color that we're both trying to use is yellow. Alice and Bob want to agree on a color that Eve is not able to predict or calculate, okay? So what will happen is باب راح يختار لون من عنده. Okay, so قلنا yellow is public. وباب will choose a secret color and add it to this color. And Alice will choose a secret color and add it to this color. Okay, we're making the assumption, and if you see a color, you cannot break it down into the two colors it's made from. Okay, مثال Alice أخذت اللون الأصفر وأضافت a secret color من عندها اللي هو اللون الأحمر. So red plus yellow equals orange. Okay, so she will send the color orange to Bob. Eve will see the color orange. Bob will see the color orange, but they don't know that she added red. Okay. What does Bob do? هو أخذ اللون أصفر أضاف للون أزرق طلع معه أخضر. So blue plus yellow equals green. Okay. So he's going to send Alice green. Okay. Eve is seeing all of this. Okay. So when Eve sees orange, she has no idea what the two colors that were used to make orange. She knows one of them is yellow, but she has no idea what the other color is. Okay. She sees green, but she has no idea what the other color is. I know it's trivial. يعني لأن قاعدين نتكلم عن simple colors, but if you think of colors as an infinite number of يعني possible values, then this is very, very difficult. So red plus green, السيكرت color حقها زائد اللون اللي جاها من باب يساوي مثلا خلينا نقول طلع brown. Okay, this is a shared secret. Okay. What does Bob do? Bob waits for PowerPoint to respond. All right, here we go. So blue, a secret color حقه زائد اللون اللي جاه من Alice اللي هو orange طلع له نفس الشيد اللي طلعت عند Alice. So they both agreed on the same value, and Eve was not able to get to the color brown. If Eve mixes orange and green, it will get a color that is not brown. Okay. If it mixes them with yellow, she cannot get that color again. Okay. So it's impossible for Eve to get to the brown color. Okay, so what happens if the key gets stolen? So let's say that we are speaking to each other. We agreed on end-to-end encryption. وصلنا الكي. Okay, طبعا we don't use colors in real life. Values, right? Very large keys. So if we decide on a key and we're communicating using that key, what happens when it gets stolen? Whoever steals that key can listen in on every communication we have with each other. صح ولا لا? So how would people get that key? طبعا keys they're stored on your device. So لو أحد أخذ جوالك he could find the keys. Okay. So if someone were able to get a key, then that person would be able to spy in every single one of your communications. Okay. Can we minimize the effect of a stolen key? So if a stolen key if someone steals a key, they can see all of our communications, past and future, صح? And the current ones. They could see every single one of our communications. So can we minimize this effect ولا لا? Yes, we can. And this is what the signal protocol does. And this happens in WhatsApp too. So the signal protocol creates a new key for every single message that you send. So إذا كتبت لك hi, كتبت أنت hi, two different keys. If I say hello, ترد علي hello, how's it going? We're using three different keys. Okay, so every single message has a different key. Old keys are thrown out right away, they're deleted, and we never use them again. This means that if someone steals the key, they cannot decrypt any of the previous messages. So if a key gets stolen, okay, الخطر وين? That they could decrypt all future messages. Okay. So how do we do this? We use something called a ratchet. Okay. A ratchet algorithm. A ratchet algorithm is a one-way function. You could think of it like a hash. So we take the key ندخله في الفانكشن هذه. It gives us a new key every single time. And as long as Alice and Bob start from the same initial values, اللي هي root values, okay, they will always get new keys that are equal to each other. Okay, so they do Diffie-Hellman in the beginning, and then they could use this function to create new keys every single time. So every single message would be decrypted using a new key that has nothing to do with the old ones because we cannot go backwards with ratchet algorithm. Okay. So this function would not enable us to take a key and go backwards. We can only compute future keys. Okay. So طبعا in real life we have two keys. Okay. So يعني في signal protocol, Alice has one one ratchet for the keys for messages that she sends and one for messages that she receives from Bob. So this is synchronized with this, and this is synchronized with this, okay? So each one of them has two ratchets, okay? One for sending, one for receiving. So two different keys at all times. And these keys change with every single use. So every time we use one of these keys, we throw it out, we use a different one, okay? طيب. This is called a KDF, okay? So this is the function I was talking about. نعطيها الكي, it gives us a new key every single time. So إذا الكي انسرق زي ما قلت لكم, what would happen? Whoever steals the key cannot see previous messages, but he can see all the upcoming messages. صح? طيب. After this, they said, okay, can we prevent Eve from calculating future keys using a key she's already stolen? So if Eve steals a key, can she compute future keys? Yes, she can. Can we prevent that from happening? Also, yes, we can. How do we do this? شايفين الانبوت هذا حق الفانكشن? What we will basically do is have new keys for every single message, and at the same time, we will add an input to the KDF that makes it impossible for someone that steals a key to compute the next ones. And what is this input based on? It's based on elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman. So elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman is a variant of Diffie-Hellman, but it's built differently. It's based on elliptic curve cryptography, and which has much smaller keys. It fits for this specific case, okay? So a new elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman agreement is performed with each message round trip to create a new chain key. So WhatsApp calls them chain keys, Signal calls them ratchets. So if you look at the paper حقت WhatsApp, you would not see them writing ratchets إلا بين أقواس. That's what Signal calls it. So yeah, a new chain key. This provides forward secrecy through the combination of both an immediate hash ratchet and a round trip Diffie-Hellman ratchet, okay? So technically we don't have three ratchets, we don't have two ratchets, we have three. This one is for sending, راح يكون هو receiving in Bob. This one is for receiving from Bob, اللي هو sending حق Bob. And every time we use a key, يشتغل الراتشت حق Diffie-Hellman, and it changes the values that are inside of these ratchets, okay? So if someone steals a key, he cannot compute future keys or past keys, okay? He can only use it to decrypt the current keys, the current messages. تمام؟ طيب تلاحظون أنتم في الواتساب if you delete a message يطلع لك message deleted. Why doesn't it disappear? I'm looking at the chat, so if anyone wants to participate, please write it. Can anyone guess why we still keep message deleted? Why is it important to keep that within the chat? Come on, it's easy. Okay. قلنا the keys have to be synchronized, صح? So if Alice does not change the key, non-repudiation, close. It doesn't have to do with non-repudiation, it has to do with synchronization. طيب, Bob is using a key. He has to make sure that Alice uses the same key. قلنا every time he uses a key, he throws it out وينتقل للكي اللي بعده, صح? So if he sends a message encrypted with a key, بعدين he deletes قبل ما تشوف Alice المسج, she would be using a different key that was intended than what was intended. بس إذا شافت هي إنه a message was deleted, راح تطلع key جديد وترميه because the message was deleted and use the next one. Okay? Because she has to maintain synchronization with Bob. Otherwise, she'd be using different keys that won't work. She wouldn't be able to decrypt the message properly. وضحت؟ طيب, let's do a quick exercise in case طفشت ولا شيء. طيب, خلصنا من end-to-end encryption for now. We'll get back to it if you guys need more information. افتح الواتساب. I'll do it too. If I can find my phone. All right, here it is. افتح أي contact عندك. أحتمون عليه, okay? Because we're doing an exercise. احنا قلنا every single message is encrypted with a new key, صح ولا لا? So we've established every time you send a message, it would be encrypted with a new key. طيب. So open to any contact that you want. أحد تمون عليه. Record a 20-second video and send it to them. Okay? I'll wait for you guys. صور فيديو 20 ثانية وارسله للشخص هذا. إذا على الكلام اللي تكلمنا عنه قبل شوي. So if let's say I have two friends, okay? My two, مثلا سلطان وحمد, are two friends of mine. If I send a video to Sultan that is 20 seconds long, what will happen? أول شيء يسويه واتساب يسوي compression للفيديو, صح؟ لأن الفيديو دائما يطلع زي اللي عندك بالجوال, يطلع smaller, right? So أول شيء يسوونه they compress the video. ثاني شيء they encrypt. So I encrypt the video وأرسله للسلطان مثلا. بعد ما أرسلت للسلطان قلت you know what أبرسل للحمد. Okay? So بعد ما تنتهي من إرسال الفيديو للشخص الأول ارسله لأي شخص ثاني. سووا forward للمسج وارسله لأي شخص ثاني عندك. And when you're done اكتب done في الشات so I can move on. عفوا حمد. Okay, so when you're done, just write I'm done. Okay? Okay, good. So what do you notice? So the first time you sent the first person the message, it took a long time for it to send the message, صح? First of all, encrypted the entire message. Then it took a long time to transmit the message. The second time was instantaneous, صح? It just happened. Right? طيب, is WhatsApp lying to us? Okay, so the second time you sent the message, was it fast ولا لا? It was. So is WhatsApp lying to us? يعني أنا يوم أرسلت المسج ثاني مرة, it happened like that in an instant, صح? So, but what am I supposed to do? المفروض إني أسوي re-encryption, صح? I'm sending it using a different key. الكي اللي بيني وبين سلطان غير الكي اللي بيني وبين حمد, right? So when I send it to Sultan, I was using one key. المفروض أخذ الفيديو, encrypt it again with Hamad and send it, صح? But that's not what happened, right? And you saw it with your own eyes. So what is WhatsApp doing? Are they lying to us? What's going on? So the question is, did it re-encrypt? Obviously did not. And way too fast for re-encryption and retransmission. So why was it so fast? WhatsApp does not re-encrypt, okay? So is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's an amazing thing, okay? Efficiency-wise, performance-wise, and everything, صح? So let's say I had a 50 megabyte file, okay? صورت أنا a video that was 50 megabytes and I sent it to 20 of my friends. 50 times 20 is how much? It's a full gigabyte, right? So I have to take a full gigabyte, encrypt that entire gigabyte, صح? So I have to encrypt the file 20 times and send it 20 times, صح? So first of all, I'm encrypting it 20 different times and I'm transmitting it 20 different times. That's 1 gigabyte of encrypting and network traffic that you're sending out, صح? That's way too much. And with Facebook, they don't want all of that overhead. So they came up with a very, very smart solution, okay? So what's their solution? Alice has this video file. She wants to send it to Bob. So what does she do? She creates a new key, not a message key, a new key خاص بالmedia هذه, and she sends the media to WhatsApp, okay? So this is encrypted with a key that doesn't have to do with the keys she shares with Bob, okay? Something else. She creates a new key, she encrypts this media, and she sends it to WhatsApp servers. What does WhatsApp do? It creates a link and it sends it to Alice. تقول له هذا يعني WhatsApp, تقول all right, this is the link for the file that you sent me. تمام? So what does WhatsApp have? WhatsApp has the encrypted file, but it does not have the key. Who has the key? Whoever encrypted the file the first time, اللي هي Alice, okay? So Alice now has a link and she knows the key which she used to encrypt the file. So what does she do? She creates a message with the link, the location, a pointer that points to the location of the file. It's called the blob store, and the key which was used to encrypt this file, okay? Then she encrypts this with the message key that she shares with Bob, okay? And she sends it to Bob. Bob can decrypt it because he is synchronized with Alice using end-to-end encryption. He decrypts this, okay? And he finds a link to this media and a key, okay? Which enables him, of course, to download the file and use this key. وفي أمثلة كثيرة online, like I could give you guys a link and a AES key. So you guys could download a video file of, مثلا I could send a file right now and give you guys the link and a key which you could use to decrypt it. حتى وانتم ما لكم علاقة, okay? So WhatsApp doesn't know who you sent the file to. It doesn't know what key you used. So anyone that asks for this media will get it. And anyone that has the key can decrypt it, okay? So مثلا أرسلت أنا لحمد وسلطان the first time الكي الأول أرسل لحمد. المرة الثانية I'm not sending the file سلطان وحمد, no, I'm only sending the key مع اللينك. So the next time I want to send it to anyone else, I only change the key outside, okay? الكي هذا. The message internally is the same. اللي هو الرابط مع الكي that I used to encrypt it. Is this clear, guys? Yes, yeah, same cryptographic algorithms. We're still using AES. Okay. Moving on. طيب. Let's forget about media for a second. When you forward a message, when you forward messages, okay? يعني you have messages that you send to your friends, and then there are messages that you forward, right? The messages that you forward are what kind? يعني has anyone in history ever forwarded a message مكتوب فيه hi? Well, how's it going? No. يعني when you forward something, it has to be something interesting, صح? A news article, a joke, مثلا a picture, something like that, صح? So مثلا has anyone ever forwarded مثلا don't forget to bring milk, Oreos, and eggs? مثلا no. Would people forward jokes, news, interesting facts, and stuff like that, صح? طيب, in 2016 كان في الأزمة اللي سمعتوها في الأخبار اللي هي مثلا اللي Trump and Russia, and so Facebook, the Congress, and everyone, they were asking these major social media companies to find a way to fight misinformation, اللي هي fake news, okay? Fake news was a very major issue. So to combat fake news, WhatsApp implemented a method to track forwarding messages, okay? So to combat dangerous rumors and misinformation, WhatsApp knows and tracks messages that you forward and how many times the message was forwarded, okay? طيب. If it knows when I forward a message and it knows how many times a message was forwarded, does this mean that they track every single message that I send? Can they read my messages? Do they have hashes of my messages? No, they have a secure way to track forwarded messages without having to read them, okay? So do they use hashes to track them? No, they do not. They could lead to the leakage of message content because the hash of hi is always the same, صح? So they don't keep hashes, okay? And they don't keep they just don't take that route, okay? طيب. Also, if you notice, sometimes you get this icon and message. So you try to forward a message, ويرفض WhatsApp. يقول لك this message was forwarded more than 5 times, صح? I can't allow you to send it to more than one person, صح? So إذا طلعت إشاعة كبيرة وبدأت تنتشر بين الناس, WhatsApp wants to make sure that you cannot send it to more than one person. هذا يحد من أثر الإشاعات. Okay? So how do they track? So WhatsApp forwarded messages are dealt with differently. ما يتعاملون معها كمسج. So إذا طلع لك message مكتوب you can only forward this message once, what you could do is you could copy the content of that message and send it to as many people as you want. Okay? So messages that are forwarded contain a counter to keep track of how many times a message has been forwarded. So it tracks how many times a message has been forwarded. And if it reaches 5 الchain, إذا وصلت 5 ما يسمح لك ترسلها لأكثر من شخص. Okay? So every forwarded message that you get has a counter embedded within it, contained within it, مكتوب فيه how many times this message was forwarded before it reached you. Okay. So does WhatsApp know how many times my message was forwarded? يعني شركة WhatsApp on their servers, can they see this counter? No, they cannot. Okay, من زيادة security, they embed the counter with the message and it's encrypted. So when you get a message, you know, your device knows how many times this was forwarded, but WhatsApp themselves do not know. So the counter is also encrypted. So if you try to forward a message with a counter with a value larger than 5, you wouldn't be able to forward it more than to more than one contact or a group at a time. Okay? إلى هنا واضح forwarded messages? Okay, so we're done with end-to-end encryption. We're done with media files and attachments, and now and forwarding messages. So we know how they deal with them. وش بقى عندنا? Group messages. Okay. طيب, there is more than one way to do this. Okay. There are so many different ways of doing this. So the two basic ways of doing it. في عندنا server-side fan-out. Okay, so the client sends a single message to the server and the server distributes it to end group members. So WhatsApp would know how many people are موجودين في الجروب هذه. You send the message to them and they send it to everyone else. بس هنا تجي challenge. How do I encrypt it without WhatsApp being able to see it to re-encrypt it مثلا to everyone else? Okay, so that's one challenge. Client side fan out. The client sends the message n times to n group members. So if I'm in a group with مثلا 300 400 شخص, if I use client side fan out, I would have to send this message and encrypt it 300 times to every single member in the group. صح? And that is difficult. Obviously, server side fan out is better. Why? Because resource wise, أسهل علي أنا, right? So I only send it to the server sends it to everyone else, okay? Also, can we trust WhatsApp and to delegate some of the encryption عندهم ولا لا? All right, let's see what we can do here. So the first solution is encrypt each message for each user. So if I'm in a group with 200 people, if I send it to each one of them, I would have to encrypt it n number of times and send it n number of times, which is very difficult, okay? Second method is encrypt the message once using a group key, okay? طيب, let me tell you how group keys work. شفتوا كيف تكلمنا عن elliptic curve دي في هيلمان؟ كيف مثلا قدرنا نتفق أليس وباب قدروا يتفقون على key? There is a smart way of doing it between a large group of people وتكون على شكل شجرة مثلا زي الدوري. So we take مثلا 2 Diffie-Hellmans and the result ناخذها مع another more people to يسوون Diffie-Hellman مع بعض لما نصل to a global value that everyone knows is the secret without WhatsApp being able to know what the secret is. Okay? So يكون بيننا اتفاقية على key وبعدين الكي هذا the one that we reach is used by everyone. Okay? طبعا هذه لها عيوب كثيرة. Okay? Number one, it's very difficult. It's time consuming. Every time somebody comes into the group, we have to do it again. يعني كل ما دخل member جديد في الجروب, everyone has to participate to create a new key. And if anybody leaves the group, we have to do it again too. Okay? And that's a lot of work. Also, we have to have accountability, صح? إذا وصلنا message, we want to know who it originated from. So ما ودنا مثلا يجي باب يرسل message يقول this is from Alice, right? Because they all use the same key, we wouldn't know who it came from. طيب, so the way this actually works for signal protocol, wait, let me check. Okay, here it is. We use the same method for end-to-end encryption to create pairwise keys with every member. So أول ما تدخل في group, the way it works with WhatsApp is that you create a key pair with every single member, okay? So with every single member, you create your own key pair معهم, as if you're speaking to them privately, okay? So when you send a message للgroup, what they do is they check the ratchet and they extract the key that you're supposed to use. So your receiver ratchet, يستخرجون الkey that corresponds to your sender ratchet, and they match those keys together so they could decrypt the message that originated from you. So in النتيجة, what happens is that I send a message that's only encrypted once with my sender key, أرسلها الواتساب. WhatsApp knows the group members and it just sends it to them. And each one of these members has a receiver from me. So each one of these members has a receiver key from me, right? And they're synchronized with each other, which makes it possible for them to decrypt the message that I sent, but which Bob sent, okay? I know it's complex. So الميزة حقت الفكرة هذه is that every time you get a message, تشوف مين الsender and you look for their ratchet عندك and you extract the key that they're supposed to use now and you use it to decrypt that message. You throw away that message, you generate a new key, and you keep on going, okay? So Bob sends the key once encrypted with his sender key, and the server distributes it to everyone in the group. طيب, السؤال الأول, did I have to encrypt it more than once? No, I did not, okay? Do I have to, مثلا, when somebody comes into the group, do we have to do a key exchange with everyone participating? That is not the case. So whoever comes into the group has to communicate with each one of us, الحال, okay, to create a ratchet with them, okay? So they could generate keys and stuff like that. And we've achieved almost everything we wanted. Each member has Bob's chain and they could use a key to decrypt the message. So نرجع لتسمية مثلا WhatsApp. Bob has a chain corresponding to each one of these, a receiver chain with each one of these members, and each one of these members has a receiver chain that corresponds to Bob. And Bob has one receiver sender chain خاصة فيه. Okay. Let me see if this is the last slide. Okay. Any questions قبل ما واصل؟ دامي فاتح slide. I'm looking at the chat. Does anyone have a question? Okay, good. I hope so. I know it's complex. يعني كل الأشياء اللي قبل كانت أسهل من هذه شوي. But here it gets complex because we're putting everything together. طيب, what happens when a new user joins the group? Everyone communicates with a new member to create a pairwise key. What happens when someone leaves? طيب, so let's say مثلا جروب عائلتكم مثلا, okay, ولا جروب أصدقاء ولا شيء زي كذا with 200 members. We only do this once, ترى. We only do this one time, okay? When somebody joins. And as long as nobody leaves, we keep our keychains, okay? So the overhead في البداية, and then there is no overhead. Every time we send a message, we just send it once, okay? So what happens when someone leaves the group? This is tricky. What do you guys think? What do we have to do when somebody leaves? Care to guess? Exactly. روابي تمام عليك. So if one person, exactly, everyone said the same thing. All right, perfect. So if somebody leaves, we have to start over. يعني we have to create chains for every single user all over again. Why is that? Because he already knows their keys, صح? And he'd be able to decrypt them. So if somebody knows something and has something, you cannot take it away from them, okay? So the only thing we could do is create new chains all over again, okay? فإذا ودك ترهق ال resources الموجودة عند ال group members, just leave every group that you're in. Because he already knows their keys and would be able to decrypt them, you can't take it away from him. So all you could do is create new keys, okay? طيب, قربت انت المحاضرة, so let's talk about a few issues that I have not discussed yet, okay? Since the keys are only stored in my device, encryption keys, they are only stored in my device, right? And nowhere else, قلنا, WhatsApp does not have my keys. How are my keys moved when I buy a new device? إذا رحت شريت جوال جديد, حملت الواتساب, كيف أرجع الكيز اللي كانت عندي so I could communicate with everyone else? Any ideas? I think each and every one of you have done this before, right? You buy a new device, everything happens, right? You don't do anything on your part. WhatsApp may go like, please give me your old keys. And they don't have copies of the keys like some people assume. So what happens is that you don't migrate your keys. You generate new keys with everyone all over again. Exactly, Sarah. طيب. If keys are stored on your device, okay, let's talk about backups الحين. Sorry. If keys are stored on my device, then how am I able to restore a backup when I purchase a new device? Okay, without migrating my keys to the new device. Does WhatsApp have my keys? Each and every one of us يطلع لك دائما message في الواتساب, you need to do a backup للمسجز اللي عندك, صح؟ And the way the backups work, إذا كنت أنت في Apple يطلب منك تسويها على iCloud. إذا أنت في Google, يعني you have an Android device, يقول لك send it to Google Drive. Okay? طيب, are these backups encrypted? No, they are not. Okay? So when you buy a new device, you're not bringing your keys to the new device so you can decrypt the storage, restore الباك اللي كان عندك. That's not the case. You buy a new device, automatically what WhatsApp does, it restores it from الباك الموجود عندك مثلا على Google Drive ولا iCloud. It pulls it and it downloads it مثلا من الcloud and it's on your device. Okay? طيب, are man-in-the-middle attacks possible? It could happen, صح? So how would this happen? I did not explain how the registration process begins and how you send the keys and stuff like that. But if WhatsApp sends you someone else's public key, you could be tricked into thinking that you have the right key. Okay, you're communicating with Alice when in fact you're communicating with someone else. Okay, this could happen. And that's why there is a verify security code feature. Okay, so what is this feature? Open any contact الحين عندك بالجوال بالواتساب. افتح any contact. Click on the name. الاسم فوق. Click on that person's name. بعدين يطلع لك خيار مكتوب encryption. If you click on it, you will see نفس الموجود على يمين الشاشة هنا. ال QR code. And you will see 60 digits. Okay? If you match it with whoever you're communicating with, إذا كنتوا في غرفة واحدة ولا over the phone, and these codes match, then your end-to-end encryption is 100% perfect and there is no man in the middle. The keys you have are perfect and no one is listening in. Okay? Okay, I'm going to skip this. طيب, can anyone see my text messages? Can anyone see the plain text messages or not? Well, we just said your backups are on the cloud, صح? So many parties already have access to it. Facebook has access to it because you gave them access when you allowed them to send your backups to the cloud, صح? If they can send it to the cloud, they have access to your cloud. Okay? Google has access to your messages. Apple has access to your messages. They're not encrypted. Okay? So if authorities, whoever, they want to hack your device, they want to know what you are saying privately, all they have to do is trigger a backup مثلا عن طريق الapplication, and they'd be able to get your backups and see everything that you've ever said. Okay? And every single picture you've sent, the video you've downloaded, and يعني في داخل WhatsApp. Okay? Also, it is absolutely wrong for anyone to say that WhatsApp or any closed source software is absolutely secure. Okay? Since their code is closed source, we cannot make the claim that it's secure. We have to, we can take their word for it, but Facebook doesn't have the best record, right? So closed source, we shouldn't say it's 100% secure, but given everything they claim, yes, it is secure. Okay. So can WhatsApp or any third party access plain messages? Is it a possibility? I've read this more than once that maybe they could add a silent member in groups. Okay, داخل الجروب, if a group is suspected of causing harm ولا of malicious activity ولا certain crimes, maybe WhatsApp under it مثلا pressure of authorities or something like that, maybe they could add a silent member that the members don't know about. Okay, and that person would be part of that group and read all the messages. Is there any other way, assuming everything they claim is true? Let's take Signal, for example. Okay. if you do look at the source code of Signal في GitHub, you will notice certain things that you could take advantage of. And مثلا, if I were to build a application, say WhatsApp, and I wanted to read everybody's messages while making sure that I don't break any of the rules that we just talked about, there is a way, okay? It can be done. يعني the app could be the most secure application with one minor tweak, okay? And I'll hint to that because we can't get into the source code. But Einstein used to say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, okay? So what is the opposite of this? If you do something over and over again, the same way it was done the first time, you would get the same result, okay? I think that's a hint. I think many of you would get what I'm talking about, but it is possible, okay? Okay, finished with 4 minutes to spare. Does anyone have any questions?
الله يعطيك العافية دكتور فراس. تسلم ما قصرت.
وصلني مسج يقول إذا ممكن ما تتكلم عربي، ترى it's not on purpose. يعني بديت أتكلم بشيء تقنية it just happens. So I apologize. أعتذر من الجميع. Okay.
عادي ما عليك، الله يعطيك العافية، قصرت وشرح ممتاز. في كذا سؤال من الحضور. أول سؤال، ثواني بس نجيب الأسئلة. أول سؤال يقول لك are messages stored for long time in WhatsApp servers؟ يعني هل الرسائل تتخزن فترة طويلة في السيرفرات حق الواتساب؟
طيب, what they claim is that only non-delivered messages are stored in the servers for 30 days. Okay? الميديا لا, it stays for a long time. Okay? So if you send someone a link, as long as no one has access to that link, they haven't specified, but I think it's 30 days, then it gets deleted. It's no longer on their servers. Okay? And any undelivered message stays في server until that person downloads it, then it's deleted right away. So إذا أرسلت لأحد مسج شوف الشك الأولى صح؟
صح.
So الشك الأولى معناتها خلاص it's on their servers, it's waiting to be delivered. الشك الثانية it's delivered, it's deleted from their servers for good.
وهذا ممكن يفسر لك لما يكون مثلا أحد يرسل فيديو معين في فترة معينة، تجي أنت مثلا بعد فترة تحاول تسوي له ري داونلود مرة ثانية، فيقول لك لا أنا خلاص خلي أسك السندر ريسند إت أجين.
Exactly.
تلقى الفايل بس ما تقدر تحمله مرة ثانية.
Exactly.
طيب السؤال الثاني يقول لك where keys are stored in the devices. الظاهر يتكلم هنا عن أقصد اللوكال ستورينج في الجهاز نفسه. هل في مكان معين في الجهاز تنحفظ فيه الكيز؟
It depends. There is a specific location for Android devices where you could access it. If you use WhatsApp desktop, there is a specific location عندك في I think it's in app data. I'm not sure where for iOS. I don't know if you could access it for iOS ولا لا. Definitely if you could, if you have a rooted device, definitely you could access it. If you guys want, I could send you the exact location, but if you look for it, it's everywhere online.
طيب في سؤال يقول لك في رأيك هل الانتقال لبرنامج آخر خيار صحيح أم أنه أمر مبالغ فيه؟
I think مبالغ فيه شوي. Because the only reason we use WhatsApp is because everyone else is using it, صح؟
صح.
يعني أنا أستخدم وأنت تستخدم السواق اللي يجيني من كريم. So Uber البرامج هذه حقت everyone uses it on Earth تقريبا. If 2 billion, that's almost everyone that has a device, right? You going to something else يعني من سنوات استخدم Signal and it sends me a message when anyone I know downloads the application, and it's very rare that I get a notification. So I think the compromise is worth it شوي. يعني I know أدري إني يعني I'm not يعني if you want to know who I communicate with, so be it. يعني the convenience of having this application is amazing. Okay, but what I do love إذا دخلت privacy policy حقت WhatsApp, the first paragraph ما حطيته هنا. The first paragraph you see مكتوب this privacy policy applies to only non-European countries. Okay, عشان
صح. GDPR.
Because of it, they cannot use the data the same way they use our data. So it would be nice if they were forced to treat everyone the same way. So I'm not saying that we can trust them. I'm not saying, but I don't think we can trust anyone else. Yeah, I don't trust.
أتوقع حتى بعد بالصعوبة إنك تنقل جروب العائلة لبرنامج ثاني غير الواتساب، ما له طعم.
صح.
طيب في سؤال.
يعني I think it would be a deal breaker if Facebook were able to read the messages. Okay, if they were able to read the messages, that would be a deal breaker. If they were able مثلا to see the pictures, the videos that we send, I think that would be a deal breaker for all of us. I think just knowing who I communicate with, I think they already know that. Yeah, Google already knows every place I go. صح. They track every movement, almost every person with a phone. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
سؤال يقول هل ممكن واتساب تعرف مين المستخدمين اللي شاهدوا الفيديو؟
قصدي كان do they know who accessed
الفيديو هذا مثلا
store blob? Yes. So I'm pretty sure they have log files. يعني ال IP addresses that accessed the link. Okay. So they could know which IP addresses access the link, which users access the link, but they cannot know what's inside that video. Okay. If it turns out بعدين, I'm sorry to say this, I don't know what to say. Something very illegal. Okay. So the video is something very illegal. ويجون ال FBI يقولون this was very, very illegal. We want to know everyone that accessed this. I think they could provide that information.
في واحد بعد سؤال يقول هل ممكن المصادر المعلومات التفصيلية عن البروتوكولات اللي شرحتها؟ كيف يبغى الريسورسز يسأل عن مصادر المعلومات التفصيلية عن البروتوكولات اللي شرحتها. اقصد الريسورسز عن
اغلب الكلام اللي قلته اليوم من الوايت بيبر حقت واتساب. بس المعلومات اللي فيها you have to be very technical to break it up. وفي Signal they also have their own documentation. If you know the primitives, the cryptography behind it, على طول راح تفهمها. So let me show you an example. So مثلا this is how they explain client registration أول ما تشغل الديفايس. So this is how they deal with different keys. This is the master secret اللي يكون بين ال initiator with recipient. This is how they calculate the key that you share. باستخدام elliptic curve diffusion. Yeah.
الله يعطيك الف عافية دكتور فراس. استمتعنا صراحة بالكم الجميل من المعلومات المفيدة، وشكرا لك وشكرا قطعتنا من وقتك، والله يعطيك الف عافية.
والله يعطيكم العافية، ما قصرتوا على ترتيب اللقاء، و thank you to everyone that attended too. شكرا. الله
يعطيكم شكرا لجميع الحضور، والله يعطيكم العافية، وإن شاء الله نشوفكم في لقاءات قادمة من حماية. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.